Dandavat Pranam to all of the devotees. Today is the time of the sannyas of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gauranga Sundar, coming to Katwa and receiving sannyas from Keshava Bharati. So on this special day, we have a few minutes together to consider some of the aspects of his sannyas and to bring a little bit of a flavor from Navadip to everybody. Means we were in Navadip at Chaitanya Saraswat Mat of Srila Sridhar Maharaj and Srila Govinda Maharaj for many years, and in their association on different occasions, on different years of this time of year when Mahaprabhu left to take sannyas. So first of all, to all of the devotees, Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. And Jai Srila Gurudev Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Srila Guru Maharaj Srila Bhakti Rakok Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Jai, our Sri Rupanuga Guru Vaga ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki Jai, and Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki Jai. So, we've come here today and definitely in the midst of quite intense remembrance of these days in Navadip of Mahaprabhu leaving from Navadip forever, leaving home, leaving his dear associates, leaving the whole area which he'd had his early life pastimes from appearing in this world up through to him being a student, then being a lecturer, and then going to Gaya, and then presently receiving on that journey his initiation into Krishna Nam, and then revealing his devotional form, revealing Harinam Sankirtan, and engaging with the devotees in loving affairs as one of them, as a family member of Navadip Dham. Through all of this time, then up to the age of 24, when Mahaprabhu, in the prime of his life, as it were, in the prime of anyone's life at 24, then he leaves home, the affection of everyone, and goes to take sannyas for the benefit of the fallen souls. So, today in Navadip, we are very much in remembrance of the mood of the residents of Navadip. And Guru Maharaj Sridhar Maharaj, he told that this is a tragedy of separation. It is not a joyful day. It is a very unhappy day for the residents of Navadip. And we are the worshippers of Gauranga Sundar, the sweet Lord, who has brought to us the holy name. He's brought to us affection, love of God. And it brings pain to the devotee's heart when they see the austerities that he went through in order to actually distribute this to those who even were offenders to him, those who had ganged up against him to make offense to him. So today, some union in separation lessons, no doubt, but today also we can bring something of the mood of Navadip, and the mood in particular. What is the mood of Navadip? That is understood by Srila Sridhar Maharaj and Srila Govinda Maharaj. Means our dear Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Sridhar Maharaj, and Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Maharaj. They both appeared, both Gurudev and Guru Maharaj appeared in the area called Rara Desh. Rara Desh is that area where is Bamonpara, that area where is Hapanya, area where is extending up to Eka Chakra, that Katwa Eka Chakra. In other words, heading north and a little northwest of Navadip, on the west side of the present day current flow of the Ganges. And Mahaprabhu's leaving to take sannyas, that we know he crossed the river, swam across the Ganges river from Mayapur to the present day, the city of Navadip on the west side, the west side of the Ganges. He swam across the broad Ganges river on this, which we noted, like just out of experience, that this is the coldest day of the year, with feeling like particularly cold this day. And then we come to hear, oh, it's the day that Mahaprabhu left to take sannyas. Then on that cold day, he swam across the river, and then, running with much urgency, he ran the 40 approximately kilometers up to Katwa through this region, which is known as Raradesh. And then he's taking sannyas, the debating with Keshava Bharati, who he blessed by receiving sannyas from him. Through all of this debate and everything that was going on, then we know that eventually then Mahaprabhu comes to accept sannyas from Keshava Bharati, after first whispering that sannyas mantra into Keshava Bharati's ear, saying, "Is this the mantra you will give me?" And Guru Maharaj explains it this way, that the Lord himself is actually putting this into the ear of Keshava Bharati, who then is coming to give to him this sannyas mantra. So one thing of note, and a very kind of sweet little thing amongst all this, is that the barber who was called to shave Mahaprabhu's head, he couldn't do it, but then he had to do it by the order of Mahaprabhu. He had to follow his order and shave his head, but he could not do it. It gave him great pain to do so, but he had to do. And then that was the last head he ever shaved, and he was very disturbed that he had to shave his head, and all the people were lamenting. Great crowds of people were saying, "What is this? What is this?" That Mahaprabhu's beautiful locks of hair are being shaved off. And the barber shaved his head, but then classically, because it's Bengal, and in Bengal we know that in every, even the smallest, tiniest village of hardly any houses, we'll find practically every time, at least there's a sweet shop. And that barber, he became a sweet maker. So it's an interesting little Bengali twist there, that the barber became a sweet maker. So some of that hair, incidentally, that was shaved off Gaurasundar's head, is kept in a temple. It's entombed in a temple there at Katwa, there in Katwa, and it's one of the places that devotees do go to on rare occasions, rare pilgrimage occasions. And I recall only ever going there twice in all my years in India. And one is when we were quite new in India, and then we were taken around on parikrama to some of the special places of Mahaprabhu's pastimes. And the second time was then the very day that I was given sannyas. And then we went up to Katwa, we went to Guru Maharaj's appearance place, and in this way giving honor to those places after receiving sannyas by the instruction of the Vaishnavas and with the Vaishnavas. And there is a small temple containing the hair, at least some of the hair that was shaved from Mahaprabhu's head. Then after the sannyas ceremony, then Mahaprabhu wandered in that area of Raradesh, which includes Hapanya and Bamanpara, the appearance places of our Gurudevs. And I've been driving Gurudev, not showing him around. I'm driving and he's actually showing himself around that area of Bamanpara and the district where he was born. Then after many years, he went back there in preparation for the inauguration of the temple constructed there by Srila Bhakti Nirmal Acharya Maharaj, constructed there very beautifully at the village of Gurudev's appearance. And then one day, then Gurudev, while going to see the preparations that were being made for the festival, for the inauguration of that temple, then Gurudev had me drive him around the area and around the village, not into the village. Actually, we did go into the village too, indeed, but we drove around the village. This is the part I'm specifically thinking of just now, because Gurudev, he pointed out a large tree which is giving naturally a lot of shade. And Gurudev is saying, this tree, I am thinking, here Mahaprabhu rested. This is the local history that people are telling, passing down from generation to generation, that this tree, then Mahaprabhu, he rested here when he was traveling in Raradesh, wandering left, right, aimlessly, actually with the intention, the one-pointed attention to go to Vrindavan, but losing all sense of direction and time, etc. And this tree on the outskirts of the village of Bamanpara then is there, and Gurudev, kind of very internal mood, looking and seeing as we're driving, driving very slowly, walking pace, stopping, walking pace, stopping, on roads which are barely roads, they're just the tracks that the the track nowadays, the tractors, but the buffalo and the buffalo carts use. It was just very simple track. And we drove around a little while, and Gurudev saying, and I've been with him in that area where repeatedly he said, now this area, hardly we see any cows, but he said, I would see at one time thousands of cows. He said, thousands of cows in this area. And he said, when I was growing up, this whole area, it reminded me of Vrindavan with all the cows, with the whole natural beauty. But now there are very few cows visible, and some cows in the Goshalas are there. But Bamanpara itself very sweet. But this is the area of Raradesh. And Mahaprabhu, as now as newly Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he roamed this area. And so very sweetly we've been in that area with Gurudev talking about Mahaprabhu's roaming here and there, and then meeting up with the sannyasi and asking the sannyasi, oh sannyasi, are you going to Vrindavan? And then he's saying, yes, I'm going to Vrindavan. Then Mahaprabhu says, then I will come with you. Say, yes, I will take you. And so they travel, but this sannyasi, as it turns out, is Nityananda Prabhu, and he already understands Mahaprabhu wants to go to Vrindavan, and he's told the cowherders, the boys and men who are looking after the cows who are roaming in that area, oh, this Mahaprabhu, he must come and ask, where is Vrindavan? You tell him it is in this direction. So this way they're pointing him towards the Ganges, and towards the Ganges in an area somewhere opposite Shantipur, or in the region of Shantipur. And then Nityananda takes him, and there's a large river, and Mahaprabhu says, is this the Jamuna? And Nityananda says, yes, this is the Jamuna. And then he's bathing there. But then he sees a boat pull up with Advaita Acharya on the boat and others. And he's saying, Advaita Acharya, how did you know I was here? How could you know? And then he's Mahaprabhu comes to his external senses to some degree. And he says, oh, these sannyasis, you are Nityananda. And what? You've brought me to the Ganges, not to the Jamuna. Here is Advaita Acharya. And Advaita Acharya saying to Mahaprabhu, you come to my home, Mahaprabhu. This is my prayer. Before you continue anywhere, you come to my home. Here is a boat, and here is some dry cloth, etc. After your bathing, you come to my home. And then somebody stood up for Nityananda Prabhu and said, no, Nityananda did bring you to the Jamuna. It is told that on the west side of the flow of this current of the Jamuna, of the Ganges rather, on the west side is the Jamuna, and the east side is Ganges. So he brought to the west side, which is told us where the Jamuna is flowing. And we know that in Prayag is where the Jamuna and the Ganges, they join together, along with the Saraswati. And indeed, at the beginning of Kartik and on special times in Navadip, for instance, at the beginning of Kartik, the first day of Kartik, then the devotees from our mat, Chaitanya Saraswat mat, in the time of Guru Maharaj and Gurudev, we start out with Nama Sankirtan to begin the Kartik month. but we go to give our honor and put some Ganges water on our head. But to do that, we're crossing to the other side of the Ganges river, and there we are taking Ganges water, because this side is the Jamuna. So anyhow, this way Nityananda, in one way or another, brought Mahaprabhu to the Ganges, to the Jamuna and Ganges, somewhere near Shantipur. And Advaita Acharya then took Mahaprabhu and Nityananda and the devotees. They went to his home in Shantipur, to Advaita Acharya's home, and there for several days they gave nourishment to Mahaprabhu. The devotees from Navadip, who were all shocked by his suddenly departing from Navadip, they all came to Advaita Acharya's home, and there was a great festival of Nama Sankirtan, Nam Sankirtan, Nam Sankirtan. And this is the golden gift of the Golden Lord, Gauranga, Gauranga Sundar, is Nama Sankirtan. The evening before Mahaprabhu departed from Navadip, then very few knew that he was going to go. But Mahaprabhu is telling everybody, you chant the names, chant the names. And they had a big Kirtan festival that evening. And Mahaprabhu telling everybody, it doesn't matter what order of life you are in, whether you are rich or poor, a student, a householder, anything. Just take the name of Krishna, change your life with the name of the Lord, engage in Sankirtan. And he's fervently telling everyone to chant the names of the Lord. Chant, chant, chant. And everything in connection with Gauranga Sundar is the golden gift of the names of Krishna, which are infused with love, infused with joy, infused with Krishna prema. Prema, a word which we can easily say, but which is of the out of this world category that we know from our masters. It is indescribable, but can only be felt. And so this is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu brought along with the holy name. The holy name infused with the joy of Krishna prema. This is Mahaprabhu's gift, the golden ticket to the golden land of love of God. And at Advaita Acharya's house, then Mahaprabhu broke his fast, and in fact many of the devotees would have been fasting with no appetite, at least, indeed, ever since Mahaprabhu's departure from Navadip. And so after maybe 3 days, then they break their fast, and kirtan, kirtan, kirtan taking place in the home, the large home of Advaita Acharya in Shantipur. And by the grace of Srila Gurudev, we've had that opportunity to go to that place of those pastimes in Shantipur, and went there with Jayadev Prabhu, Gurudev's driver, and we took some photos, showed to Gurudev, and Gurudev actually became like lost in those thoughts, seeing those photos and confirming the place of these pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his very first days of sannyas. And Gurudev kind of lost in the thought of the wonderful festival that took place there. But wonderful, but always with this background of union in separation. And thus begins the Madhya Leela of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela, the middle section of his pastimes. This section is generally defined as that from his taking sannyas throughout all his traveling, etc., and interaction so much broadly with the public and with the devotees, through all of these years is the middle pastimes. And then the Antya Leela, the later pastimes, is when Mahaprabhu, he's traveled all over South India, North India, back to Navadip also, and he's gone to Vrindavan, returned to Puri, and then from returning to Puri after all of the traveling Leela, then his staying in Puri for that last section is his Antya Leela, his final pastimes, his later pastimes. So this time of Mahaprabhu going to receive sannyas. This is winter time. It is very difficult time for the devotees of Navadip in remembrance of these pastimes. But we must remember that Mahaprabhu has engaged in this Leela, this pastime, in order that the fallen souls, even the blasphemers of himself, will get relief. So how much sacrifice, how much of a change of his life for the benefit of the jiva souls living in this world, which happens to be us. So may we all accept this golden gift of Mahaprabhu, not leave it on the shelf or wait until another life, another time, and later I will do. But let us chant the holy names with joy. Let us chant the holy names, knowing they are infused by this current of Mahaprabhu that's come through the dhara, the flow, the current of our Guru Varga. So, in remembrance of our Guru Varga, and again stressing, please stay safely under the shelter of Guru Maharaj, Gurudev, Srila Prabhupada, under the shelter of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. There you'll be safe, you will get everything and more than everything. And there our life will go on in the life of a Sharanagata, a faithful, surrendered soul, understanding that everything is coming through their grace. And this is an independent point of view as well as a member of the family's point of view, if you like. But it really is so, and we must stress this always, always, always. There is so much danger outside. We've seen Gurudev and Guru Maharaj's mood. What they want of us, let us simply be faithful. Let us take joy with the devotees of Guru Maharaj, Gurudev, Srila Prabhupada. Means the joy of those who exclusively under the shelter of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Srila Rupa Goswami, the Rupa Nuga Dhara coming to this modern world. Let us take shelter there, chant Hare Krishna. This is the joy of our life. It is the golden gift of Mahaprabhu. On this Sannyas Leela time, let us remember these things, remind ourselves every day, and continue together happily. Jai, our wonderful, deep founder, charger of Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mahat, Srila Bhakti Rock, Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. And Jai, his inseparable distributor of his mercy and revealer of Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. And Jai Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who has brought this message for all over the world to the ears and hearts of countless fortunate souls ki Jai. And our Sri Rupa Nuga Guru Varga ki Jai, Sri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai, Nitai Gaura Premanandi, Hari Hari Bo. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Garadhara, Shri Vas Adi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.